Hello, Elena.
Hello.
Are you ready for your big cold walk?
Oh yeah.
You know how cold it is today?
Well, I don't know.
What's your guess?
I don't know. +5,
That's incorrect. I looked it up before we left.
+7.
Plus 8.5 Celsius. In Fahrenheit, I don't know because I've forgotten what that all means anymore. What do you think, baby Erica?
That's it?
She poop? Are you going home? All right. Got the umbrella? Can you grab the gate? Oh yeah! Good job, girl. Alright, we're almost out of the house. And we got a couple options where we could go. We could go up in the village and clean that off. Or we could go into that nice property, number 61. Go up here into the lanes, which is kind of like more tightly packed, just kind of like tiny little alleyways in between. Or we can go over here by Joe's house, which is probably one of my favorite places. It's a Filipino gentleman who lives over here, and his wife and 4 kids. And they kind of live next to the village memorial or village grave, but you'll see these in a lot of Hong Kong villages. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that, but also one of my favorite places over here. She's a piano teacher, and she just has really great garden all the time, different flowers. Looks like she's kind of put her rain tarp up to protect everything. Yeah, here's Joe's place, one of my favorite places. It's got a cool little ring thing in here. So he just basically has a little outside area here. Great place to drink beers. Probably free because Joe's such a nice guy. Give the shirt off your back. And of course they'll give you free beers every once in a while. And then they help other families in the Philippines and they send stuff home to the Philippines. They kind of collect quite a few things that people don't want here in Sai Kung, in the village, and they send them back home. And this is kind of the village. I'm not sure who the person of importance is here, but it is a really big object. Here they have a area where you can burn different things. Usually it's newspaper, and there's a smoke hole on the top. I'm trying to find the where you toss stuff in here. Here it is. So yeah, we'll kind of keep that going with fire sometimes, and you see the incense sticks down there. And they put some other things. And of course, they'll put objects up here. And the idea is if you burn them, then they go into the spirit life where the person can enjoy them. So they might need food, they might need money, maybe it's something else of that nature. And over here is actually another temple, kind of same kind of idea. So instead of putting in more residential housing, this family put in a nice little temple in here. Let me just take a quick peek. To be rude because it's kind of their own thing. Yeah, it's really pretty, and this is kind of standard throughout. Asia and Hong Kong, but you don't really see it like in the villages like this. You might see a little nook or something quite small. Here's another burning area. That's pretty cool. So that's a whole nother topic you get into, the different kind of religious beliefs and traditions of people around here, and even throughout China and Vietnam, kind of closely related. Here's where my old papaya used to sit, my favorite papaya tree, but they cut it down, it's just getting too big. Now I like days like today when I'm out walking around because there's no one out and I don't feel bad that I'm like filming them or annoying them. Because yeah, I don't like it when people film me sometimes. What if I'm doing something wrong? But you know, today's day and age, it doesn't happen if you don't film it. On the other hand, I like sharing with you, you know, what I'm doing, kind of where I live at, kind of this unique place. We're gonna take a little side cut through the alleyway here, and we're gonna go to the village shop and see if we can get some milk. And this is kind of the lanes I was talking about, and they're really packed together, really narrow. Housing's usually a bit cheaper in there. Usually is a bit cheaper in there, but you have kind of more neighbors to contend with. And this is just a really beautiful garden that this lady has here. And her husband, I see them both out weeding it. It's a big cactus, kind of looks out of place in this rainy day. And they actually kind of have their old traditional buildings still here. They haven't transferred over to these new 3-story, 2,100 square feet. And by new, they're probably around for 20 or 30 years. They're not exactly brand new. Here we go. This is kind of like the center of the village. Let's see if the store's open. And it is not. Please wait to be served. Maintain social distancing. There it is. Please wear a mask. So, milk's not open there. So we'll have to go into town and get some. And actually, this area right here, it's kind of where everyone actually has some beers and has a sit and relaxes on a nice sunny day. So, and then some of the ladies, the older ladies from Hong Kong, they come up and collect the beer cans and beer bottles for some recycling money, which is kind of interesting right now in Hong Kong because we have all kinds of restrictions because our populations that's mostly at risk is the older population who doesn't want to get vaccinated. But at the same time, probably the welfare system and taking care of them isn't super great. So it's all just kind of a little bit ironic. So where we just came from was a village shop up there. And it's a lapsop.
垃圾桶
Garbage cans. And it doesn't work too bad. Everyone brings their garbage there. And sometimes people just grab stuff and reuse and recycle it. Kind of the sad thing is a lot of that stuff, since it's all just kind of sitting out in the open, ends up in this little, well, it used to be one of the streams or rivers that run through Sha Kak Mei. Now it's just a giant kind of storm drain. But if you go up the mountain here on that path to my left, it actually gets really pretty up there. Nice fish and crawdads and turtles and all kinds of stuff. So let's do a brief walk into town really quick here. Gotta see some of the beautiful things while you're stuck in quarantine. One of the few things you can do is walk outside. One of the things that kind of stinks about today is it's really cold. And you really can't go anywhere. So enjoying walking outside, you know, it's not that enjoyable. And then number two is like you can't go inside and really go anywhere other than just go shopping, which is fine. Once you have a baby, you don't do that many crazy things anyway. But at least I can come look at my favorite tree, fully in blossom. However, the rain, all the blossoms are here on the ground. Kind of looks like someone took a pillow and shredded it apart, and these are all the feathers, like the goose down feathers. They're all wet laying on the ground. That's all right. Favorite building up on the left, the 1970s Art Deco. I'm not quite sure what I'd call that. Fashion. At least it's something different. And then we have some Chinese New Year plants still going strong. Some flowers and oranges for luck. And some older buildings here, really nice. We have an old OFO bike someone has used for themselves. If you remember OFO, they're a big ride-sharing thing that originated out of the mainland. And they actually have the lock still on it. Maybe they're gonna take it apart later, but you'll see a lot of these bikes around here from the ride-share times. People have cut them up and made their own little custom bicycles out of them. Yeah, next to an old village house. Hasn't been replaced by these large ones. And actually this village house over here on to my right with the gray bottom and the white top. I really like there's a nice little courtyard here. There's a garden. And I have this nice kind of newer style fencing with the wood planks, which I do not recommend in Hong Kong because it's going to be destroyed by the water. And then of course they matched it up with some nice bushes here. And then for whatever reason decided to put this plastic, I think it's called portcullis, trellis type material in here. And that's what you have. And of course you have, so it looks like a few people have ran into the corner of their property here. So you have the road construction cone and a built-in a little barrier. I just walked through that puddle about 1.5 inches of water. That was a little cold. We get up to the car shop, the mechanic. Yeah, some relics over here. And that goes all the way back along the river to my left. And that's a nice thing when we got a nice bird flying in there. Can get a shot of him. Yeah. I think those are called egrets. A couple of them in there. It's nice because it kind of cleans out all the garbage. Fortunately, all that garbage gets washed out into the ocean from kind of all the people living in the village here. And a lot's just from that one car park area. And then there, underneath to the right, you can actually see right there, those are where some pigs, some wild boars were at. So that's kind of cool. I'll zoom back out. Now let's get on our walk. What do you think, baby girl? Can you see yourself? One hand up. Can you sing to us? Huh? You're gonna fall asleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Police station didn't have all the barbed wire when I first moved here, but then after the protests, it looks like we're in a third world country. This is actually one of my favorite little parks here. Actually walk into it before I go to the store. And it's kind of based on kind of the sailing. Originally this whole area was a fishing village. If you were here 40 years ago, none of this would be here. And since it was a fishing village, it has a ship and kind of ocean theme to this park. Looks like it's open. It was actually a cool spot when I first came here. One of the first social things I did, joined up a workout like boot camp group. I come here 5 a.m, Gavin Gleason's workout camp. And kind of underneath this awning here would be all your people working out. And then the trainer would come stand here in the middle behind the dragon boat. And I'm sure Gavin would have loved to have a drum up here, beating away, trying to encourage his what did you call those, boot campers? People want to get in shape. That's what they want to do, to will them to greatness. Gavin liked to be up here and will his clients to greatness with his drum. I mean, he did a pretty good job just using his voice. There you can see everything's crossed off. No kids can use this. And this we have like a ship. can see the prow and the stern here. It has like a symbolic triangle sail, which keeps some of the rain off. Then, if it's a normal weekend day, you would see that some of the domestic helpers and stuff who have their day off will come down here and set up some blankets and lay out and just have a nice time, have some music, hang out with their friends, have lots of food. That's all legal now. They just gave out some fines for any helpers because you can't be in pairs of 2, I believe, or I don't know. You can be in pairs of 2. And you can't be 1.5 meters. There's a lot of rules. Anyway, about 15 helpers got arrested. We got $5,000 fines. So, you know, if you look at that, like, helper pay might be $5,000. It might be up to $10,000. Either way, that's a huge fine. You know, if I got that with my salary, yeah, it's a decent size of money, but it's not ridiculous. For them, that's a massive amount. So anyway, some of the people put together a group just to like raise some money and help them pay their fines because it's such a big deal. And actually they're shut down by the government because that would be thwarting the laws. You know, everyone understands the seriousness of the laws. You know, but the other side is like that's pretty much kind of death to a helper's family. You know, it's a huge financial crisis if you have to pay that much and you have people depending on you back in Indonesia or the Philippines. Because even our helper has 2 children and she's really nice and she doesn't spend any money, drugs, alcohol, any funny business or anything like that. But she might need a salary advance because something happened in the Philippines with her family. And she's up there with no friends or kids. Well, she has friends, but her children in the Philippines, and she's working here taking care of them. That's pretty rough. And they only have 1 day that they can socialize, basically, and that's taken away now as well. There's even now reports that helpers have been positive. For some reason, they're not in government quarantine. Then their employers don't let them come back to the house, so they're living on the streets. Will just kind of got nuts. Wait to cross the street. The 101. President Hung Hao. And the 792. And we're still questing to get some milk. And hopefully the parking shop up here is open. This grocery store is definitely, yes, it is open. There's my favorite red bus, the Mongkok Rocket. That will take you 0 to 90 kilometers in not a very pleasant amount of time. But it gets you where you need to go, to the Northern Kowloon Territories. Oh, and here's Park and Shop. Oops. Let's go turn back around. All right, let's get some milk. I think my wife said, let's check out all these beers first. That's some classics. We have these Chinese beers, Kirin, actually that'd be Korean. Asahi, and probably my favorite, Guaylo. Some IPAs, about $26 for a beer. We'll do the math on those. And then Japanese beers, Sapporo, then Knight, which I think is kind of an old British beer that they make in Hong Kong. These are your cheap end beers, Knight, Skoal, Carlsberg. And my favorite Hong Kong beer, if I was thinking about Hong Kong, it would be Blue Girl. Imports, good flavor, Hoegaarden, Asahi, Dragon's Back, Old Golden Pen, London Red, Peroni, and then probably the best beers, Erdinger, is my favorite, Leffe, Hubel. That's very unique to Hong Kong ones. The Young Masters is really great, and then we have some other ones that they make here. This is Oishi Suma, which I've never tried before. I heard it's good. And then this one that I'm gonna pick up is this Park and Shop beer, this dried plums mead, because I like meads. So I'll take that home and test it. Oh, and I think for milk on a nice cold day, I'm gonna grab some California Sunshine, because that's the best milk. All right, we'll go pay for that, and let's get home. Not very good. Way too sweet. Oh, you want to try it, babe?
Super gassy.
It's gassy. Wait, how does it taste?
Super sweet.
Good, bad?
Like honey beer. Yeah.
Yeah, it is honey beer. That's exactly what it is. It's really, really sweet though.
With a bitter aftertaste.
Let's go back to the star of the show. Erica. What do you think about it? She doesn't care.